Hello, welcome back to Omni Talks podcast series. It's April 14th, 2018. I'm excited to be here this morning. I woke up, asked Alexa what's the weather like outside, and Alexa told me it's snowing again in Minneapolis. But we soldier on, and we have some exciting news to get to this week. But first, a quick word on our sponsor, DeliverySolutions.co. Delivery Solutions, the leader in last mile delivery. You can delight your consumer with click-to-door delivery today. For more information, visit www.deliverysolutions.com. All right, for the news. First off, it was a tough week for me. Ladies and gentlemen, a very tough week. So I don't know if you saw this, but Bed Bath & Beyond reported their recent quarterly earnings. And it was tough. I had actually said in my retail predictions for 2018 that I thought Bed Bath & Beyond was an undervalued stock. And again, never ever should you take any of my opinions as a basis for buying stock. It's just absolutely ludicrous. But regardless of that, I thought maybe Bed Bath & Beyond would turn it around this year. But it looks like I might be wrong about that one. Sales were tepid, just slightly below zero on a same-store sales basis. But more importantly, they downgraded their guidance pretty significantly with Wall Street for the year. This one's tough. I read through the earnings report cover to cover, and I got to tell you, I don't know what to make of it still. It was kind of a mixed bag. So you go through the earnings report, the first part, the CEO talks about all the traditional student body right playbook tactics of what I call merchant-led retailers. Those things like we need better product, we need better pricing, we need better sourcing strategies, yada, yada, yada. All those things we've talked about forever. All those things that are great when your business model is unchallenged, but really don't help you when you're in this transformational situation. But then you read on a little further, and then they start talking about how they're still investing in trying to change their store formats. I think they have a large number of store reformatings planned for the first 2 quarters of this year. And I got to tell you, still the single best innovation I've seen on the bricks and mortar side in the last couple of years is their store in Brooklyn. And basically that store in Brooklyn, and we'll talk about this more in the after the 5 too, but that store in Brooklyn essentially incorporates Bed Bath & Beyond, Buy Buy Baby, Face Values, Cost Plus World Market, puts it all under one roof, and makes it a very social experience. There's something there. And so I'm curious to see how that still plays out. So only time will tell if they actually right the ship and this is just a temporary pain and a setback, or possibly I was wrong. But fortunately, in terms of my predictions for 2018, I've still got Walmart, Wayfair, and Blue Apron to fall back on. All right, on the other side of that coin, we've got Costco. Costco had a stellar month of March, reporting sales up 8%. Just goes to show you Costco, incredibly formidable business. No matter who's nipping at their heels, whether it's boxed, who's looking like they actually want to get acquired. It's just a hard business to recreate online. It's a hard business to do digitally. That's why I think we're still long on Costco. All right, story number 3, Walmart. A couple things, Walmart and Instacart, a couple things out of the last mile delivery area. Walmart announced that they're going to have a partnership with Postmates, and Instacart just secured another round of funding, bringing their valuation to about $4.3 billion, if you can believe it. And we're going to talk more about this in the after the 5 as well. But I think the thing to know here is this is an interesting space. Do you outsource this to a third-party company like an Instacart, like a Postmates, or do you try to bring this in-house like other companies have tried to do? There's a great article on LinkedIn that we'll send out to you. It's written by Britton Ladd, and it talks about Instacart potentially being the Trojan horse of retail. And it's a really great read. It stopped me in my tracks and made me think about things I'd never thought about before. For example, Instacart. They're delivering groceries for every single grocer within a given geographical area. That means they know what consumers are buying at Whole Foods, they know what consumers are buying at Walmart, they know what consumers are buying everywhere. Whereas a Walmart only knows what consumers are buying at Walmart. What does that data mean in the long term? And can Instacart then, or other companies, start to build their own stores with stronger data for given areas than what current retailers have? I don't still know where I come down on this issue. I'm still thinking about it, but I highly encourage you to read that article. It's one of the best articles I've read this year. 4th, Amazon. Oh my God, this one is like Luke when Darth Vader told him he was his father at the end of Empire Strikes Back. It's hard to believe it's true, but it is. $22 billion they spend in R&D. That's nearly $6 billion more than their next closest competitor, and that's Google. There isn't a single retail company on the list in the top 15. It's staggering, and it shows you why they're so hard to beat. my opinion, this is still a very underutilized strategic tool in most retail companies. You read a lot of the earnings reports, very few of them ever make mention of how they're using R&D to their strategic advantage. And if we're ever going to right the ship, companies have to get on board with this. And if you can do it right, it really isn't a risk, it's actually just smart business. And then finally, something near and dear to my heart, I don't know if you caught this headline, but food halls are expected to grow 3 times by 2020. Millennials, that millennial generation, statistics show they like to eat out or spend, they spend 44% of their food money on dining out. That's unbelievable. They want variety, and they want to change things up, and they want great quality food. And so that means a lot when you think about in a world, as we've talked about, where the only difference between physical and digital experiences are the sheer memories and delights of being somewhere. Well, then food plays an important part of that, or eating food plays an important part of that in terms of why you're going to choose to go to a place. So I think what you're going to see in this space over time is that you're going to see innovations in architecture, innovations in food operations, and how retailers start to think about this as well outside of the food halls will become a very, very important issue. All right, that closes us up for the week. I want to say again, of course, thank you to our sponsor, Delivery Solutions. And also, if you didn't check it out earlier in the week, we did a fantastic interview as part of our Spotlight series with the CEO of Slyce, the visual search company, their CEO, Ted Mann. We'll be out in Atlanta at Home Delivery World next week. And finally, I just want to say happy anniversary to my wife. We're celebrating today 9 years. Thanks for everything, honey. Thanks for our 2 wonderful devil children. And as I say to the audience, and as I say to her every night before we go to bed, be careful out there.